Welcome to our new podcast for all the free agents out there who are on the hunt for their next career chapter. In this great corporate restructure of 2023, there is an incredible amount of talent who've been given the gift to reassess and really consider where they want to invest that talent and for whom. Our hope is that this platform will be just one avenue to match great talent with great opportunities. Have some fun along the way. I'm your host, Tanya Pelletier, and today I am joined by Lisa Kazes. Welcome.
Hello.
Hey. So let's jump right in. Lisa, in full disclosure for our audience, we are childhood New Hampshire comrades. We've both moved to sunnier skies. In fact, I couldn't believe it when we reconnected and you said you left New Hampshire, well, we won't say how many years ago, since it ages us both. And we're matching, right? How's Florida treating you?
I love Florida. I love all of the natural wonders here. I love the beautiful sunsets, and I love seeing dolphins and manatees. It's a lovely place.
Okay, so we moved to Arizona. I will say the ocean is one thing that I miss. So you have that. We have big open skies. The sunrises, sunsets. I love that too.
Yes.
All right, so let's start with where you began your professional journey years ago. Maybe you can walk us through what did that look like?
Well, when I came to Florida, that was a time of transition for me. And I found myself as a single parent with an outdated skill set. And so I needed to figure out a way to develop more skills so that I could support myself and support my child. So I made the decision to go back to school. I attended school nights and weekends for about 2 years, and I got a degree in paralegal studies. And that was really only possible because I had a very supportive family, a very supportive network of support with friends who were helping me as I worked towards that goal. And once I got my degree in paralegal studies, I later followed that up by getting a professional certification through NALA.
I would say it was also possible because you had the determination to do that. So support, yes, but you worked hard to get that done. So
Well,
congratulations on
thank
that.
you. It's amazing what you can get done when you have to get it done.
And then life progresses, time progresses, kids grow up, and now our own identities, right? And we consider what next. I know you and I talked a little bit about that. Can you talk a little bit about the timing of your decision just recently to make that leap into running your own business?
Yes. But before I do so, let me backtrack a little bit because when my child was young, the thing that was most important to me was stability and consistency. I wanted to provide that for myself and for my child. So I was able to work with a couple of really great law firms. I spent 6 years working in a family law firm and then 12 years working in a law firm which did real estate transactions and business litigation and representation of community associations. But, you know, our children grow up, and then maybe we don't need quite as much consistency and stability as we once did. And of course, then there was a worldwide pandemic, which caused all of us to, rethink some of our priorities and goals. And then I received an offer to become a 10% partner in another business. And I was flattered by that offer. I pondered it, but I didn't feel like that was the right fit for me. And then I started thinking, wow, wouldn't it be better if instead of being a 10% partner in someone else's business, I could be 100% of owner of my own business? So that was exciting to think about. And over the years, I had been doing paralegal work at home for attorneys on the side, drafting some documents here and there and doing some research. So I really started thinking then, wow, maybe this could be my main thing. And then I would have control over my time and be my own boss.
And you might not have to do early mornings, which we know you love.
Yes. Okay. So all through the years, I've struggled with mornings and going to work. I usually, honestly, to be perfectly honest, I'll sit there for, I won't tell you how long, and I'll just be staring into empty space because I'm horrified that it's morning again. I'm very much a night owl. I do my best work in the afternoons and the evenings, and then I like to stay up late reading. It's a habit that I've always said that I would break, and I haven't broken it. So I thought, what if I could just eliminate mornings as a time to do any work at all? Wouldn't that be great? And then I could just work on my most productive hours. So these things were things I was pondering while I was putting this business idea into motion.
Any fears that you had to overcome?
Yes, I was very afraid of giving notice with my law firm, my most recent law firm. You know, I'd been there for 12 years and they were really good to me. I didn't want to be perceived as being ungrateful for the opportunities that they afforded me. I learned so much there. I was terrified of giving notice. I hate any kind of confrontation, so that was difficult. But the way I approach that, you know, I talked it out with my family and friends. You know, for me, faith is an important part of my life, so I prayed about it as well. And then when I approached it with my managing attorney, you know, I approached it starting with gratitude, and then I did give my notice, and then I added more gratitude. I tried to convey how appreciative I was, but that it was time for me to move out on my own. And they were very gracious about it. So I'm so appreciative of that.
I love that. And it's great that they were supportive and as well they should be, right? I mean, it was a great journey, but journeys, journeys progress and they change. So
Mm-hmm.
very good.
Absolutely.
So I know for me personally, as I consider the same transition, I spent decades in the corporate world. I have a deep skill set, but starting my own business, there are so many things I don't know about getting started. Do you have any advice there?
Well, one thing that was incredibly helpful for me is working with Almodovar Group. Almodovar Group, they are a business consulting firm. They help people start and grow businesses, and they were such a valuable resource. I I know a lot about how to be an excellent paralegal, but I do not know a lot about how to start my own business. I knew some things, but there was like so much I didn't know. So they were extremely helpful with that. And they helped me with, creating a website, determining a payment platform, uh, looking at the online workspaces that were available. You know, software as a service is such an important part of our work life, especially remotely in 2023. So they helped with all of that, and I'm so grateful for that. Also, looking at podcasts like yours and reading books about starting and growing your own business, that also was very helpful for me.
So they helped you with your infrastructure. Obviously, you need to choose a company name. Speaking of company name, how did you choose yours? Because I think that's a really challenging thing.
Well, over the years, the attorneys I've worked for, I've heard them on the phone so many times saying, my paralegal will get right on it. I'll have my paralegal work on it. So I thought that sounds like a good name. I decided to call my company My Paralegal Inc. so that that company can eventually be your paralegal.
Love it. Okay, and I think one of the big things I think about too is client acquisition. How hard was it to get your first few clients?
Well, part of that was being aware and listening because my first client that I got, other than the attorneys that I'd been doing side work for here and there, my first client that I got for my paralegal happened because I had overheard a conversation where two attorneys were talking about a third attorney who didn't have any paralegal coverage and that they were, really needing some help. So I heard that. And as it happened, that attorney was someone that I had referred a friend to earlier in the year. So I sent that attorney a note and I just said, I recently started my own paralegal services company. When you need help, please reach out. And that attorney did. And that was that. Then my second client came about as a result of that first business relationship. And it's gone on from there. Referrals are honestly the best form of a client acquisition, but not the only form. So I'm working with my business consultant to acquire more clients.
Mhm. Yeah, and I will say your network is crucial. I hear that a lot from the folks that I speak with. So that's good to remember. Perfect. Okay, so I usually end with asking if you have any advice or tips for the audience, how would you like to close out?
Well, mindset is important. Part of the reason that I didn't start my own business sooner is because I really didn't have the mindset to do that. I didn't think that I could do it. I didn't think I was capable of that. And I was okay with doing work on the side, but always having that safety net of working for an employer.
Yeah.
But because of receiving that offer to become a partner in someone else's business, it made me think, wow, this person believes that I have the skill set to be an asset in that business. Maybe it's time for me to take that leap. And also, it has to be based on timing. This is not something that, for me personally, I would have considered while my child was young. I'm not saying that other people couldn't arrive at a different conclusion, but for me as a single parent, I really, really needed to have that stability. Now I can afford to take a few more risks. So, and not worry that it's going to negatively impact the people that I love. And also get help, get help from a business consultant, get help from your network, and always be thinking about like how you want your life to be.
Very good advice. Very good advice. And the topic of stability, I think, we talked about this in a different podcast. Sometimes you think you have stability just because you are in the corporate world, but as we can see from this year, right, there is just no sure thing. So you might as well bet on yourself, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, okay, so I know I just saw you announce your founding of My Paralegal, but a few weeks ago. You're already up and running and sustaining. I'm sure your biggest issue is going to be not taking on too many clients, to be honest.
Wow. Well, that sounds wonderful. I actually right now I have a good client base so that I was able to give notice at uh, my law firm, and Thursday is my last day there so that I can focus exclusively on my paralegal. And if anybody wants to visit that website, it's
Mhm.
myparalegal.co.
Awesome. And we'll make sure we put a tag in as well. So thank you for joining me today, Lisa. It was so fun.
Thank you so
And
much. This was
yeah,
wonderful. Thank you. I really enjoyed it.
yeah, it was great. And thank you all for tuning in for today's Free Agent podcast. Don't forget, if you want to join the conversation, just send me a quick note through LinkedIn. If you want to help us get the word out, reshare this post. And wherever you are in your change journey, keep your heads up. You can do this. Thanks,
Thank
Lisa.
you.
See ya.